Hey guys, and how's it going? Maniac Mower here. Last video you guys saw, we were working on the patio. We were painting stuff and I was starting to put it all back together. Haven't really done much since you guys have last seen it. It's still kind of how it was. Getting back to it today. So, what the plan is, or what I'd like to do, it's not really the plan, is I'm debating on putting the wheels on it, on the front, and getting all the steering set up. And then also, I was debating on putting the transmission in it and getting the wheels on it. So, that's the plan for right now. I want to get it set up so I can roll it around. Not driving it, but I mean just so I can get it and roll it around and move it around the shop so it's not just sitting here on this piece of cardboard, as you can see. So everything with that's fine and dandy. Here's the problem. The 68 has the patio tires on it in the back. So we're gonna have to go over here and steal its tires. Those ones right there. Now, I'm just debating on whether I should put, those tires are going to have to come off that tractor anyway and be painted, so we can stick those on here for now just so that we have some tires on it. That's the plan for right now, is I really want to get this thing up and rolling so that I can, now we're going to have to hang it from the ceiling most likely to do that, but I think we might, we're into it pretty far now. Take a look here. There's not really much that goes back to the back. Right here's where the mower deck lift goes. Actually, I could put that in right now, just so we have the lift in there. I don't have it in there yet. That's I think that's gonna go in next. The deck lift assembly, and then we got to put the steering in. The steering box needs to go in. The front axle's in. The mule drive's in. The variator needs to go in. Do we have the variator? It's there, but not hooked. So the variator's got to go up. And then this mess right here, that goes to the deck lift, so we'll be putting that stuff. I'm considering hanging it up from the ceiling just to help me a little bit easier on me. Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to put the steering rod in. Well, if we put the steering rod on, we're going to have to put the, what's it called? The dash tower. Although, actually, we might be able to get away with not having the dash tower on it. I don't know. I am not sure. So let's go on ahead and get started on that. We know what needs done now, and we should be able to get most of it done today. This thing is getting really close to being done. So wow, it's gotten done a lot quicker than I expected it to. So let's go on ahead and we'll get it hung up. We may not hang it up. We may just try to get what we can done now. Happy New Year, you guys. It is officially 2020, the start of a new decade. Last decade, hopefully this is a better decade than last year. Last decade was not a very good decade for me especially. So, enough rambling. Let's go on ahead and get into this and start tearing it apart. Let me hang it up, get it hung up on top, or decide what I'm going to do. Most likely I'm just going to do a time lapse of it getting put back together. I was going to do pictures, but I think we'd be better off just doing a time lapse. Alright, let's get into it. So I think the first thing that we're going to go on ahead and get started on is I'm debating on whether I want to do the steering first or I want to start with deck lift. I think we might just do the steering, so let me grab the... Alright you guys, so as you can see we got the patio done. I went back and looked and apparently I had the camera set up and everything. I was ready to go and I thought that I hit the record button, but I never hit the record button, and so you guys didn't see it get put back together, unfortunately. So that was my bad on that one. But as you can see, she's all put back together. One thing that we still need to do is, actually I know a lot of you guys are going to say something about this. I painted over top of a yellow seat. I am looking for another seat for this, but I wanted to have a seat on it so I could see how it looked. So that's what the deal is with that. No, I'm not keeping it. I just painted over a yellow seat to see how it would look. Anyway, so what I'm doing now is I found out right here, this is the PTO. This is what engages and disengages the PTO on the motor. There is supposed to be a bolt right here for it to go through. There is no bolt there, there's no nut there, no nothing. So I was digging through my hoard and I found a bolt. So we're going to put this bolt in there like this. I got a couple of nuts to put on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that in there with the nuts and washers, and we're going to see if it'll go in, if this will go over and hold on to it. So let me go on ahead and get started on that. I will be back when I'm done. Alright you guys, so I stuck that bolt in there. We're going to go on ahead and try it. It is a hex key. Let's see. We got to pull it out, it looks like, but let me do that here quick. You guys can see. I'm just going to pull it out and then I'm going to tighten up the nut right here. You guys can see. Pretty sure you can see it. Alright, there we go. Let's go on ahead and try this and see. We are going to tighten that up against this. No. Well, oh, that just came out. Let's try this. I'll be damned. Well, shit. Huh. I guess I should have checked that before I put it on there. I think for shits and giggles. There's two ways we could go about this. We could open that opening up a little bit, which will weaken it, or we could put this on the grinder and grind this down a little bit so that that'll go on there. I'm weighing out my options right now. I want to see. Let's try that one, and let's try that actually and see how it does. Alright you guys, so we've got the grinder right here. We're going to grind this up against the bolt head right here. The nice thing about it is it's a hex key, so I don't have to worry about getting into this part right here. Let me grab a pair of Well, on second thought, we could do it like that. Let's just try it out and see. Something like that. That's getting hot. Let me grab some pliers. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sand this down a little bit and try to make it flat inside of there so that it's not wiggling and wobbling everywhere. It's staying in one spot. Let's fire this up. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to get rid of the heat. There we go. That should get rid of it. Alright, let's go ahead and reassemble our piece back on there. So hopefully now, let's check and make sure first that it'll actually slide in there without. There we go, look at that. Perfect. Now it actually slides in there. Let's go ahead and take these watt nuts off. We'll leave the front one on there. The reason for that front washer is so this doesn't fly over top of it. Although I don't think it will with how tight this is on there. So let me get this in here. We don't want it on there very far. We just want it on there far enough to the point where it's gonna go on there. You'll understand it though once the engine's in there. There we go, look at that. That's on there nice now. See? Look at that. Let me go grab the clutch pulley so I can explain how this works. Alright you guys, I ran back and grabbed the clutch pulley. So this is how it works. This right here is your clutch pulley, okay? This right here is where your clutch pulley goes when it's on the motor. As you can see, that might be a problem. No, it won't. So once this goes on here, this will slide back, and then boom. That's locked in. Now this will spin on it. When you kick your PTO on, this will spin, okay? Although this is going to be in a lot further than this. It's going to be back at least right about here. So this needs to come back a little bit more, but it should be okay right now. For all it's doing at the moment is it's holding that up so it doesn't fall. Alright, so on to the next thing. So this right here is my 1973 112. Kick on a light, there we go. So on the 100 and 200, on the 100 series, 110 and 112 tractors, they use the same setup. Round fenders were a little bit different, but on all the square fender you'll find this setup. So this right here is the clutch. The only difference about this clutch is this right here goes into the engine, where on that one in there, there's a spot in the frame for it. And the mule drive on here also hooks up to the engine instead of the frame. This is a 1973, that's a 1969. In 72, I think it was, is when they changed it. It might have been 73. But later on they changed it to this setup. So what this is your clutch, like I was saying earlier. Your clutch pulley. See, this spins. When this spins, that back pulley goes to a mower deck, or it goes to a tiller also. And then this one right here goes to your snow blower, your other attachments you have up front. Snow blower, there's a wood chipper, there's a... You could even get a generator for one of these. But this arm right here slides onto this. This is a little bit tight because I have it adjusted so tight. But this is your little arm, your little holder that goes on there and holds this on so it doesn't pop out while you're using it. But you squeeze your lever. Oh, this, there, that's why. That engages your PTO. So when you spin this, you'll spin over your motor. As you can hear it. If you heard it, it's getting compression and blowing out the muffler. That's how that works. There's two, they're all set up differently, but on this tractor, that's how it's set up. So, and I can show you how the manual stuff works on that tractor because you can actually see it. This one you really can't, there's a whole bunch of stuff in the way, so that's how it works for anybody who's curious. So as you can see, that in here, this is what engages and disengages your clutch. As you can see, I'll pull the lever, that'll move, and that'll move too. That's how your clutch works right there. And then this is engaged, that's disengaged. It should go further for whatever reason. Oh, I see why. So we're gonna have to do some adjustments on here, but that's your basic setup on how it works. So then right there's your engager. And then back here, that's what's known as a friction clutch. They do make an electric clutch, but I don't have any with electric clutch. That 72 I had an electric clutch. This is your friction clutch right here. This is a brake right here that grabs onto the inside of that one outer pulley and it starts spinning it. And as you can see, I have no more pile. I only have a few things left and then some miscellaneous springs. I don't know what they go to yet. So that's how your friction clutch works. There is an electric clutch. What the electric clutch is I have one on the 216. I think you're zoomed. Yeah, you are. There you go. What the electric clutch is inside, it's the exact same principle except for magnets. That's the electric clutch right there. There's a magnet in here. When you kick it on, this inner piece moves out onto this. that makes this spin. When you don't have your electric engaged, that doesn't spin. It just, well, it spins on the bearings like what the manual ones do. Because when you have the motor spinning it, it will spin on the bearings. And eventually your PTO will start spinning. But when you have a mower that hooked up to it, or a snowblower, it'll just stay stationary like this even when the engine's running. So depending on how tight you have it though, it might spin a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. That's about where I have all my tractors adjusted to. I have them adjusted to, I adjust them until the clutch grabs onto the, until it's grabbing onto the brake, and then once it grabs onto the brake, I turn it half turn so it's not, and it gives them, it makes them tight, so if you're going through tall grass, thick grass, or bad snow, it doesn't start slipping. Because on this one, I'll turn on the PTO, I've had it slip before while mowing, and it really sucks because it eats away at your brake, and you don't find out you're slipping until it's too late when you no longer have a brake. So I tightened them down, and it's got bearings in there, so it's not going to hurt it to. Now, as long as you don't grease your brake, you should be okay. All right, enough rambling. Up next on the patio, I am currently waiting on a decal for right there and a decal for down there. We might paint that one over. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with it yet, but I am waiting on a decal, and then I'm going to put decals. Oh, we need to wire this one up. So I guess that might be next. Well, yeah, we'll get it wired up next. All right. All right, you guys. So as you can see, I do have a wiring harness for this, but I think I'm just going to wire it up myself, the tractor, to save time, because I'm looking at this harness and it's not very good. I can steal some wires off of it and use them, like the, oh yeah, that, I don't know if I want to use, I'm going to put a new thing on there. The solenoid, I don't know if it's good or not. Either way, it's getting replaced. Well, if it's still good, I'll use it. So, most likely, I'm just going to completely rewire this tractor. Yeah, there's wires missing from this, and it's rough. So let's go on ahead and let's start the rewiring process on this thing. Alright, you guys, so last time you saw the patio, we were doing some wiring. I went on ahead and just wired it up just to get it done and over with, and I didn't want you guys to have to sit there and watch me look at the manual and wire it up and cuss, swear, and throw stuff around. So, although it would have been entertaining, I decided not to film it. I did wire it up, however. She's all wired up and ready to go. Have not tested it yet with a battery. I wired it up myself. It's probably better than the wiring harness it had before. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on ahead and we're going to try and see if we can get this thing to turn over a starter. So I'm going to have to look around and see if I have a starter or not that is good. What we may need to do is pull that solenoid off. Or no, we won't have to pull it off. Put a ground on it that goes straight from the solenoid to the battery, because it is on painted metal, and electricity really doesn't go through painted metal too well. But other than that, we do have everything wired up and ready to go. So hopefully we should be able to get that going. So let me go on ahead and I will go grab a battery. We're going to have to hook the negative terminal up somewhere, but once we do that, I'll go grab a negative battery, hook it on there, and we might be able to get this thing to turn over a starter. Or at least check and make sure that the solenoid's good. So let me go on ahead and do that. I do not have the headlights wired up. I do have a wire that goes up to the headlights. The taillights are not wired up either. The reason behind that is the headlight bulbs are junk. They do not work. They're just a set of bulbs that I stuck in there. It didn't come with bulbs, so I stuck a set in there that I had that were no good. The taillights do work. I did some painting on the hood and the seat, as you can tell, but anyway. The rear lights do work. They're not wired up. I don't have a wire going back to them yet. I'm going to, but I figured, well, there's really no point in having the taillights wired up if the headlights don't work. That's kind of stupid. So that's how we're going to leave it for right now. And we're going to go on ahead and get this thing set up and ready to go. So let me go on ahead and I will put you guys in the stand. We'll hook up a negative terminal and then we'll go grab a battery. Alright, so I'm guessing if we just ground it right to the battery box, we might be okay. Either that or, right there's some bare metal. We might just do it to the battery box. And right here, we'd have to put a ground on the starter. How do we want to go about this? I don't have an engine block I could bolt in there, do I? No. I was thinking if we bolt an engine in there and hook the starter up to it, we could probably spin over the... I wouldn't want to spin the motor over, but we could spin over the engine, or we could spin the starter just to make sure that that solenoid's good. I think we might be able to ground it right to the battery tray. I was going to ground it to the motor, but I don't have an engine in it, obviously. So let me grab my negative battery terminal, wherever I set it, and we will get to it. What we also could do is just throw it on the battery charger, hook the charger up to it and try it that way instead of going in and getting a battery. I did pick up a battery for it. I did not have one sitting around like I thought I did, so I went and I got one. So hopefully, I do not. I could put it on this. We'll stick it on here and try it. We're going to ground it to the motor though once we get the engine sat in there. The block is currently being bored for this tractor, so hopefully next video will be the engine being rebuilt. Hopefully. I'm not going to make any promises. The tractor is not on rear tires, if you guys didn't see that. I pulled them off. I'm painting them currently. So that's what's going on with them. I have been doing some touch-up painting in a few spots on here just to cover up the scratches and the paint that got scuffed off from putting it together. Hopefully should look good here soon. Let me grab some 7/16 wrenches. We will tighten that down. I know you guys are saying I should clean this, clean the surfaces up. I think it should be okay, because inside the hole is bare metal. Same with on the bolt, so I think we might be okay. Whether it's gonna work or not, I don't know, but I think we might be alright. Did I really put the wall lock washer underneath that? Whatever. Whoops. Alright, well, I mean, hey, as long as it works, it works. So, let me run in the house quick and I'll go grab the battery and I'll bring it out and we will try it. Alright, you guys, I ran in and grabbed the battery. Let's go on ahead and set it on here and try it out. Hopefully, if everything is wired up right, we shouldn't have any problems with it, but I really don't want to jinx it. If you're wondering, I have the rear end sitting on a couple pieces of wood right now. Set that in there and make sure I don't mess with any wires. There we go. Alright. So assuming, where are these two at? Okay, they're right there. Alright, cool. Assuming I have it wired up right, this one's positive, so this one needs to... Didn't spark. It's not grounding or zapping, so that's good. That means we may have done it right. Alright, let me move you guys up and I will show you the amp meter. We should see the amp meter go, but I'm going to try to keep it where you guys can see the rest of the tractor in case if something goes wrong. Let's see. This is scary, especially knowing that I wired it up. Alright, ready? Didn't move. I wonder if that's any good. Let's try it. Ready? Alright. So, we heard the solenoid click, so that's good. We know we've got power. I do not think that amp gauge works, though. So, oh, it does. Look at that. Okay, so the amp gauge does work. I did see it move. And we've got power going to the solenoid. So, that's good. So we knew we've got it all wired up right. Surprisingly. Let's go on ahead and try to find a starter or something we can use to check it and make sure that we are getting voltage. I did consider putting the voltage meter in there and trying it with that, but I don't want to fry the meter. So I don't know if I have a light bulb or something we could throw in there. No. So what we're gonna do is I'm currently... Alright, you guys, here's what I have decided to do. Grabbed a starter I found laying back there. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put the positive right here because that's where the positive goes. And then we're gonna take it, we're gonna run a negative wire from here to the battery. I am assuming we might be able to, or it'd be nice if we could get it on the frame of the tractor somehow, but I don't think we could do that, so let me go on ahead and I will go on ahead and make a connection for this. I will be right back. Alright, you guys, here's what I have decided on doing. This right here is that starter I was telling you about. As you can see, there is no crimp. This right here is bare wire going back behind this washer. What it's going to do is this is going to ground it up to the battery. So hopefully, assuming I've done it right, we should be able to get a negative ground. I am going to have to tighten this down a little bit more because this is wanting to come out of here. But alright, you guys, I'm back. I need to get one of those head mounting GoPros so that you guys can see what I'm doing. But here's what I have done. As you can see, I tightened this down so this is in there good. I do not have a crimp big enough to go over that, so I'm going to need to grab a bolt too. Once I grab the bolt, we should be able to test it. We're not going to have it on there very tight. We're just going to have it on there tight enough to test it and see how exactly the see if we're getting, I think we're getting power to it, so we should be alright, but I don't want to get it all put together and then assume that, you know, it's getting power and then drop a motor in it, get it tightened down and find out, we don't have a solenoid, because that would suck. So we're just going to go on ahead and do this, just to be safe. Plus, I'm always trying to be safe, so you're all probably going, I don't know what you're talking about. You are never safe. That's the right size. All right, let's go on ahead. See if that'll work. I'm gonna have to set this down on something so it quits moving. Well, damn. Actually, we might be all right. That's our negative. I'm gonna set this. No, there is no gas in it before anybody says anything. There is no gas in the tractor, so don't worry about it exploding or making a boom. Let me back the camera out so that you guys can watch. I need to get one of those head mount GoPros that I can put on my head and you guys can watch. Let me go on ahead. Oh, I already had a 7/16 over here. Is that off? Yeah, I don't want to throw sparks. So let's get this. Good. No sparks. So that means we have her done. I am assuming we might be okay. Let me get this somewhere it's not going to try to annihilate anything when it goes. Is that going to do it? No. Okay, let's go on ahead. Reposition you guys. Can you see it? No. I want you guys to be able to see everything just in case something happens. So let's go on ahead, test this solenoid and make sure it's good. Ready? Look at that. Perfect. All right. We got a good solenoid. So let's go on ahead. And obviously we're not going to leave it like that. Let's go on ahead and what do we want to do? I'm debating on wiring up those bulbs. I know the front bulbs are no good, but I don't know about, I know the rear bulbs are good. Oh, look at that. That's off, right? Yeah, so everything so far seems to be testing all right. So, I'm almost kind of curious if we'd even needed the ground. Yeah, see, it's grounding right there, so okay. No, we didn't. All right, well. All right, let's go on ahead and get that back off there. And then, I don't know, put the battery back, I guess. And go from there. All right, you guys, so not quite sure where to go from here. I think we've pretty much got everything done. I'm ready to guarantee that if I was to drop an engine in it right now, it would go. The stator wires are all in there and ready. Everything's pretty much put in and set to go. So hopefully, when we drop a motor in it, it'll go. Like I said, mine is currently being bored. I'm not sure when I'm going to have it back. Probably sometime next week. But they're doing it for free, so I said, sure, I'll have it bored. It needed bored anyway, so happy to finally be getting that done. I think I'm going to go on ahead and end the video here. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. I guess we got lucky with it because we know that the electronics work. I'm actually kind of tempted to go on ahead and wire up that rear harness, the rear lights, just to make sure that they're working and everything. It may be a while until the next time you see this tractor. I don't know. I don't know what the next video is going to be yet. I do have a couple of ideas on what I want to do next. I can tell you, let me pull you guys off the stand real quick. The 68 is currently pulled apart again. As you can, right here's its engine. What happened was, remember the smoke it would blow? The rings were bad. I knew the rings were bad in it, but I didn't think they were this bad. Let me see if I can find the rod. The bore actually does not look bad. The motor was rebuilt at one point before. It's still a standard bore. Right here's the rod. I have it up here with my knickknacks. This right here is the rod. Not much to say about it. It's kind of caramel colored near the top. Not sure why, but it's got caramel color to it. So, and then in here, here's the 68. No motor, as you can see. I think that's about it. Oh, here's the tires. I'm getting ready to clean them up to paint. So that'll be probably the next video. So alright, well, I'm going to go on ahead and end the video here. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. I figured real quick, since we had the battery out here already, we'd go on ahead and test the headlights. So what I did is I hooked the voltage regulator up. Right here's the negative, as you can see. Right here's the positive going into the connector. Let's go on ahead and try it. Hope for a voltage. I'm not sure where to have it set at, so I have it set for ohms. Right now it says OL. So we're going to go on ahead and see. Let me try to get you guys somewhere you can see that meter, so you can see if it changes or not. It should be wired up right, so the way it works is once I get it, it'll show numbers instead of OL once it decides it wants to focus. I'm standing on the pad. Let's try this. All right. Can we get it? Well, doesn't want to focus. Let me see if I can get it to. We'll be back when we can get it to focus. Kind of see it. There is a glare to it. Let's go on ahead and see if we get a voltage on it or not. Let me turn on the headlight switch. OL. Oh, perfect. So we are getting a reading, so that's good. Alright, so the headlight switch is good. So let's go on ahead Why did it? Let's try that. Not sure what we're supposed to have it set at. Give it a second to go to 0. All right, so we are getting voltage. It is working. Okay, good. All right.